Hey guys, Street Smart Joker here. I'm excited to share that I just noticed that we've crossed 250 subscribers. Great. A small milestone, but today I have something really special and really cool for you guys, which is my childhood favorite superhero, none other than He-Man, right? He was one show which I used to watch every Sunday, every weekend, end on end. And today we are going to talk about He-Man: The Eternity War by Rob David and Dan Abnett. We have both volumes, volume 1 and 2. Together they collect the entire set of 15 single issues that had come out in this storyline. So without wasting any further time, let's get into the story and some super cool art form, right? I really enjoy the artwork, especially the cover arts by Stephen Sejic. That's what I'm going to show you today. So enjoy the video. So I hope you guys really like that intro video. I had fun in making it. I added a lot of artwork also in there. Hopefully you guys also like. So let's jump right into volume 1. The most and when you open the book itself, you'll start seeing He-Man breaking off a sword, and that has a lot of significance in the book, which I'll talk to you later. There are a lot of double page splashes in this book, which I really love and enjoy because it truly shows the war in a better light, right? And obviously the cover art by Stephen Sejic, in at least in the volume 1, is something which is a standout for me, and that's something which continues throughout volume 1. In volume 2 it changes to a couple of other cover artists. Stories by Rob David, and the script is by Dan Abnett. So it starts off after He-Man Masters of the Universe title, although both of these books are independent of that, but in a continuation there is a continuous story from where we left off there, because Hordak and the Dark Horde had captured Castle Grayskull by the end of that story, and that's where it kicks off. And the starting itself, you will see that Hordak is back to flesh and blood in this story, and another noticeable thing is Teela. She is the new sorceress of Eternia. And the most interesting part about all this is that Eternians, including He-Man, She-Ra, everybody is in this place right now, right? It's the Snake Mountain, the Skeletor's lair. That's where they are. And Hordak is in the light hemisphere, and while the other guys are at the dark hemisphere. And that's where it starts off. And the first story really sets up the tone for the rest of the story. So once Hordak comes back to life, he activates Castle Grayskull, and then we come to know that Castle Grayskull is being designed by the Lord Grayskull to rule the entire universe, and that's the plan which Hordak that gets revealed early by Teela to He-Man and She-Ra. And the key to activating Castle Grayskull is lies with these two stones here, which you guys can see, right, which fits into the eyes of Castle Grayskull. And one of that stone, called the Stone of Chaos, is with Skeletor already. So She-Ra now has to go on a quest to get the other stone, which was with the sorceress earlier, which is called the Eye of Kronos, right? And she has to go on a quest, while Prince Adam and essentially He-Man has to go on a quest and start the war against Hordak, right? That's where the first volume starts off. And but very soon, and the good part is the Snake Men are allies of Eternians, so they are going to fight side by side, which is a big twist. But the most biggest twist at the end of this story is you see one more player who was not supposed to be part of this game, and one of my fan favorite anti-villains watching all this action from far, right? And that is obviously Skeletor, right? So that's where it kicks off. I really like this. This is the beautiful cover by Stefan Sejic, right? And then it's all about the quest, the war, some of the great artwork of the Snake Men in who are allies of Eternians, and we see Men at Arms, right? The war kicks off. I'm not going too much into these war scenes. I'm just taking you through some panels, simply because I found it very interesting to look at it. A bunch of characters, all of whom we are familiar with, because of whoever was watched He-Man before, I'm sure they would be familiar with the characters here. Again, another fantastic cover art here between She-Ra fighting the evil hordes, right? So this is called Time and Fire, this title of the story, where she goes off and fights. And again, during the fight, when she has conquered all of them, she meets with somebody who was expected to be a late entrant, but he's made an early entrance, right? And that is none other than Hordak, who is the main, at least in the first half of the story, is expected to be the main villain of the story. And this fight scene between She-Ra and Hordak, again captured awesomely well by Stefan Sejic in the cover art, right? So the story is very fast paced. It's full of action. It also talks about how Castle Grayskull has been designed by a master plan by Lord Grayskull to once you get the two stones and you rule Castle Grayskull, you can be the master of the entire universe, right? And that's what obviously Hordak is after. And this is I hope you guys can see it. It's a brilliant scene in which he pierces She-Ra, right? And then comes our the game changer, I would call it, the wild card, none other than Skeletor, and he gets the stones. And obviously we are introduced to the old allies of Skeletor, Evelyn, Beastman, and Trapjaw, right? And again, another fantastic piece of cover art here. I simply loved the covers of this. I think that is one thing which I would definitely want to buy and keep, the single issues just for the covers, right? And this is a fantastic page again, right, in which they show Skeletor as part of multiverse, right? And you could see multiple different versions of Skeletor. That is the one I love the most. That is from the Cartoon Network. I forgot which TV channel it was, but yeah, it shows Skeletor in different multiverses. I really like this. Is a very evil version of Skeletor they show here, and it's a fight which has Hordak, multiple villains. Like there is Hordak, there is Skeletor, and there is obviously Lord Hiss, who will also come into picture. Evelyn steals the stone and gives it to Hordak, and then and that's where the story takes a turn, because now Hordak has control of Castle Grayskull. But also they shift in between and they show future in which Adam is the king, and how he is married to Teela, and how they rule, etc. That's a good story. Basically, it shows that once Adam has decided that he will remain only as He-Man for the rest of his life, Teela essentially shows him what could that path take him, right? Where could that path take him, because it's not good of He-Man taking over Adam, and that's where this story ends, right? And right? I'm just showing you a couple of panels, and finally Teela convinces that if this future has to be changed, Adam has to give up being He-Man, right, once and for all. And that's where the this fantastic scene comes into play, right? And that's where we end the story. And that's just showing some artwork in this, and from here we jump on to volume 2. So let's do just that. Do subscribe. I'm going to show the volume number 2 in a separate video for all of you guys. Enjoy.